Yeah. Yeah. No. Remember when I was simple?
Afternoon, everyone. I'm Sean Means, I'm the movie critic for the Salt Lake Tribune. I'll be moderating today's press conference, day one press conference for the 2013 Sundance Film Festival. On stage, of course, we have Robert Redford, actor, director, filmmaker, activist, and the founder of Sundance Institute. Carrie Putnam, executive director for the Sundance Institute, and John Cooper, who's the director of the Sundance Film Festival. It's exciting, isn't it?
It was really well done.
Well, tell me. I mean, it's like we're taxiing out of the gate to the runway right now. What's exciting about this moment? Sort of leading up to the first screening of the festival. Sorry.
You want to divide it into...
What's exciting for you in this moment?
For me?
Yeah.
Well, I think, first of all, Carrie will be speaking about the Institute, which is part of it. John, of course, the programming. He'll be speaking about that. I think probably from an overview standpoint, I think what's on my mind, there's so many things that could be said about Sundance. It feels to me right to kind of boil it down to a simple thing. And so what comes up for me is the word change. Because I think change can be divided into three sections. Either change is, since it's inevitable, excuse me, I've had a cold. Since it's inevitable, some people fight it, resist it because they're afraid of it. And other people kind of, okay, they accept it, and they kind of roll along with it. And then there's another group that sees it in a positive way, that they can take advantage of change, and not only go with it, but use it. And I would suspect that that's probably, I think that's where I am, and always have been, and I think that's where Sundance is. And so, when you think about art, in this case film, you can look at it as an agent for change, because the festival, being as diverse as it is, shows all kinds of different, all kinds of content. And that gives the audience a chance to choose. And that's not quite so available in the main market. So for me, as change comes, I think what we have done is flow with it, accommodate the change, use it. For example, the new frontier, when high technology began to play a greater role in film, then we flowed with that and created the new frontier, where we brought high technology and artists together to show what we would have, mostly installations. Online, shorts, documentaries, which have always been a big deal for me. We started promoting those things before they hit the level they're at now. So I think that over time, something I'm very proud of, we've watched as things happen in the universe around us, and we adapt to it with the content that we provide. And then, of course, the choices always. Yeah. So that's something that I'm pretty proud of. As long as we go forward and we adapt to change, we keep in touch with our original purpose, which is simply to support and develop new voices to be seen and heard, and do whatever we can to promote that.
Carrie, what's exciting from the standpoint of the Institute? What's exciting about this moment?
Right, as we go into the festival.
Right.
Well, I mean, so much. I mean, our team has been working so hard to get to this place, so it's exciting for me to see everybody arrive and the production really work. That's very exciting. But I think on a broader level, I want to just echo something Bob said. I feel like for me, the movies are the most exciting, and the artists here. And I just wanted to point out a couple of aspects of how diverse the slate is, picking up on something Bob said. We have films from 32 different countries here this year, and I think this festival has always been, as the Institute is, a festival of discovery. We have 51 first-time feature filmmakers in the program out of 119 films, so the opportunity not only for all of us to see how that plays after all the hard work our programming team has done to find those films, but to be able to introduce those artists, I think is incredibly exciting. And then tie tying back to the Institute a little further, we're really proud that this year, 22 of the films in the festival program have come through our labs or our granting programs at Sundance Institute. And for those of you who may not be aware of the details of those year-round programs, we've got, across all of our programs, we support about 400 artists with critical creative support every year. And we also award $2 million in grants every year to documentarians, narrative filmmakers, all artists in all the categories, really. And so I think here we begin to see that community come together and to be able to discover new films and also welcome the ones that have come through our labs to their first sight of the world is pretty exciting. So.
Now, Cooper, one of the things that you're in an interesting position in that you already know most of what we're about to see.
Yes, I do.
Where does the excitement come in for you at this point?
I think at its base, I'm excited about the quality of the work this year. I think it's top notch. I really love the notion that we've always had at Sundance of established filmmakers, in particular, mixing with the first time. I think you just said 50 first-time directors. I think there's a magic to that. I think it's part of the alchemy of what makes Sundance Film Festival really special, because they do meet and they do become sort of a group force. I'm really excited about music in the festival this year, for sure. Not just the music in the films, we have lots of documentaries that are covering it in this very creative source of independent, I think there's a real tie-in between independent filmmaking and making music. I think that's an interesting thing that we'll see go through the festival. But also some of our partnerships with KCRW and ASCAP and just live music around on the mountain, I think is going to be really exciting. Great the experience. I mean, I just want to get this thing started. I feel like I'm sitting on a powder keg of talent that needs to explode.
I mean, it seems obvious that the link between music and film is just sort of self-evident. But I mean, and y'all have brought this out somewhat in the London program,
Right,
started
exactly.
last year, to merge the two into one program. What is the link between music and film?
Well, it's really Bob's idea. This comes from him. He talks a lot about just the crossover of artists. So there's not just one artist's point of view. That when you get all of them talking cross mediums, it's a much more exciting conversation.
Yeah, that's the alchemy that he's talking about.
Now you had thousands of submissions.
Yes, we did.
What does that sort of mass of film that you sift through over the last several months, what does that say about, what does that all the submissions, not just the ones that made it, but the ones that didn't, what does that say about where the state of independent film is right now?
I think it's a very healthy statement. I think it shows that a lot of people are thinking about independent film as a form of expression, which is exciting to me. Because I think it's such a powerful medium. I really like that it's across the boards too. It's not just a lot of narrative feature makers. It's a lot of documentary makers as well. That is exciting because they're really tackling so many amazing issues that, in ways that we don't tackle them right now, maybe in mainstream journalism. So that little thread is really exciting. And just short filmmakers in particular. I think we hit our all-time over 8,000 short films. So you just feel like there's a lot of people like giving it a shot, trying it. So I think that's very optimistic about that.
You know, one of the things I think that we try to do is to look down the road that might be coming, and anticipate it and prepare for it in our programming, like Harry does and John does. For example, I'm prejudiced to documentaries. I have been most of my adult career on. And I felt that I go back to the days of Neil D'Antonio in the late 60s, but I felt that documentaries one day would continue to grow and increase their value to where they would be almost equal to film. So in anticipation of that, we started in the 80s, I think it was maybe 88 or 89. Once we saw that we had a platform, that once we survived, we didn't know we would in the beginning, but once we survived, we could create a platform to promote documentaries. So we did that way early in anticipation that documentaries would gain in value. The same with shorts. Anticipating that the new technology was going to do what it has. That we would be ready with that with the content, which is shorts that can be seen in a smaller screen. So I think that's something that we're pretty proud of, is that, but we always have to be on the ball, and think about what's coming. But that's something.
And you've had a recent experience of actually being in independent film and on your last few films. With Conspirator and with
It was about time.
Company You Keep. How is the fact that you not only are the movies you're directing, you now have to go try to find distribution for yourself. How has that affected the way you look at what goes on?
Well, it's put me in the same boat, which is probably a good thing.
You got skin in the game.
I've got skin in the game, and I might have to develop hide.